G'day guys, LV here from Adventuring Pals, and in this video I'm going to talk about why I traded my perfectly well set up MR Triton for a next gen Ford Ranger. Now I want to start off by saying I absolutely love that Triton, and I wish I didn't have to trade it. It was perfectly set up to do exactly what we wanted it to do. The Triton had been so reliable for our family. I really had confidence in it to just jump in the car and go anywhere. We used it to do a whole lap of Australia, many camping trips in Gari, Fraser Island, Simpson Desert crossing, Oodnadatta track, more outback travels. The car was just perfect, except for one thing, which made me have to trade it in. Now, after we did the lap of Australia, we moved into our house again, living in Harvey Bay. We really wanted to get back to Gari and do some camping trips up there without the caravan. And we didn't want to do it in a swag or tent because we've got two little kids and the dingoes over there are not that friendly, hey? So we decided to get a rooftop tent, that rooftop tent right there actually, and we set up a canopy, perfect for camping out of it. After a couple of years, we used the Triton for doing some camping trips on Gari, Simpson Desert, Outback, everything like that as mentioned before. And then we got the itch to hit the road again. Except I loved the rooftop tent so much, I didn't want to leave it behind. And we unfortunately could not take the camper with the rooftop tent and tow a caravan at the same time because that would put us over our rear axle weight. The Triton simply just could not take the weights that we want to put onto it. So I started looking for ways I can get around it. I had the GVM upgrade already on the Triton, but I just could not find any aftermarket support to increase the rear axle capacity. I even wanted to put a six-wheeler conversion on it, but no one out there had an option to do it. So reluctantly, I started looking for a new car. Now, it would have made perfect sense for me to trade from an MR Triton to an MV Triton. After all, the MV Triton was a fair step up from the MR. Had much better axle capacities, much better GVM and GCM capacities. However, the biggest problem was, when I wanted to put the money down for a car and order it, it wasn't actually available. Now you're probably thinking, if you want all those weights and you want to do all that heavy duty four-wheel driving, get a Land Cruiser. Once again, the Land Cruiser was not available quick enough because I decided in December that we're going to do it, and we left in March, so it didn't give us a lot of time to set up a new car. And honestly, that Land Cruiser is just way out of a price range. I've set this up for less than I could have bought a Land Cruiser for. And the other thing that put me off the Land Cruisers was that it doesn't even have an NCAP safety rating, and having my kids in there all of the time, I really wanted to get a safe vehicle for our family. The Ford Ranger was always in my sights as a car I'd like to do. And then when the new one came out with a V6 diesel, and the one that pushed me over the line to commit to getting a Ranger was the fact that the V6 comes with an all-wheel drive mode, just like my MR Triton did. I really love that all-wheel drive mode. It is so handy when you're towing, when you're driving on icy conditions like we do in Tasmania. Having an all-wheel drive mode that you can use four-wheel drive on high traction environments such as tarmac is a really big bonus in my eyes. And for that reason mainly, I went with the Ford Ranger. And what also helped is my mate, who's an engineer, he went through all of the dual cabs available on the market, doing his research, doing his weight checks. After all his research, he decided that the Ranger was the best ute, and I agreed with him, so I got one too. The other big reason I went with the Ford Ranger is because I know there's already some great big GVM options to get for the Ranger already. And you can also do a six-wheeler conversion if I really wanted to go down that road, where I can have 4.5 ton GVM, 4.5 ton towing. Now, I don't want to get into too much about a review on the Ranger, but I do want to say that I am loving it so far. That V6 diesel, oof, man, I think it's got some oomph to it. And I opted to get a pre-rego Lovers GVM GCM upgrade. So now I've got 3.7 ton GVM, which is about 500 more than the Triton did. It's got a 7.2 ton GCM, which I don't think I'll go anywhere near. But most importantly, it's got over 2100 available on the rear axle. I still have to be careful not to overload it too much because that rear axle is still quite a limitation. Now, unfortunately, just after we set up this thing to have the camper and tow a caravan all around Australia, we were ready to hit the road, and about 3 weeks before we hit the road, our caravan was written off due to some storm damage. So because I spent all my funds on this thing, I didn't actually have enough funds to get ourselves a new caravan, so we decided, bugger it, we're going to hit the road in a rooftop tent. Now, after living out of that for a few months, we really realized that we want to get back into a caravan. So I still don't want to get too big a caravan. I want to keep it under 3-ton ATM of a caravan. So hopefully that'll mean about a 300 kilo towable mass. With all the weight on here, I should still stay under my rear axle weight. Guys, after 4 months and just over 15,000 kilometers in this, I'm pretty happy with my decision to go with the Ranger, but this is not a review video. That will come probably 6 months, 12 months down the track. But I just wanted to say that I am very happy with the Ranger. That V6 oomph is awesome. Happy that we are well and truly under our weight limits. It is actually a much nicer car to drive. The interior is a lot bigger, or feels a lot bigger. But all those things you can't expect when you get a car that's 4 years newer and costs a lot more money. But it definitely is not without its faults. But I want to talk about that more in the review video. Like I said, I want to do a bit of towing with this. Even though we haven't got a caravan yet, we're pretty close to committing to a caravan. Give it a few more months, then I'll do a review video on the Ranger. You are thinking about getting a new Ranger. I do like him, I do rate him, but it's only early days, so we'll see what time tells. All right, guys, I don't think I can talk about this anymore. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you got something out of it. And if you guys want to follow us on our adventures of traveling around Australia, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow along. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Catch you on the next one.